So yesterday, I showed you all the stickers, right? Literally, as soon as I finished filming, my daughter comes in and steals them all from me. I was so sad. But like she said, they were her stickers, so I can't be that mad. Anyway, hi friends. Welcome back to Makeup Looks and Books. And thank you all so much for watching, for your likes, your subscriptions, your comments. I love them all. And never be afraid to hit that subscribe button or leave me a comment. I love it. Even if you just watch, I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for it. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I appreciate every single one of you. So, I tend to I will generally give any kind of book a read, right? A lot of times I like the lighter books, the happily ever after, the fairy tale retellings, all that kind of good stuff. I love those kinds of books. I also like other kinds of books. I feel like that's a lot of what I've talked about so far. I do like other kinds of books too, but a lot of times that's just what I gravitate towards because I want something that's lighter to read. But this is not a light read. It deals with the death of a spouse from cancer and all that grief that follows. So if that is something you don't like, I wouldn't read this book. The book I will be talking about is called Don't Be Afraid by C.A. Harms. I don't normally cry when I read books. If something sad happens, then yeah, I'll cry a little bit. I absolutely bawled my eyes out the first time I read this book. I normally don't do that. I read this book. This book came out in 2018. I read it in 2018. It has taken me up until now, 2025, to read it again. And it might be another 7 years until I can bring myself to read it again. It's a very well done book. It is. But it is a rough read. It deals with Sawyer, her husband Patrick, and Patrick's best friend Gage. They are the main characters. And they have just, at the beginning, Sawyer and Patrick have just found out Patrick has pancreatic cancer and it has spread. He is not going to get better. And Sawyer has just found out she's pregnant with their first kid. Which, oh my gosh. For starters, ouch. Talk about holy roughness, Batman. And so the first half of the book is just them dealing with it. And Patrick, he wants to be able to live, he wants to live, of course, but he's not going to. So he wants to spend the rest of the time that he has left living with Sawyer. But Sawyer is pregnant, and she also has to deal with all this grief of knowing her husband will not be around. So she's struggling with that. Well, Patrick's over here can we just live for a little bit? And, eventually they're able to do that some, but Sawyer is always struggling with that grief. Which, don't blame her at all. Because I would too. And Gage, Patrick's best friend, is a huge help, a huge shoulder to lean on for both of them throughout all of this. Patrick does pass. I don't know how to talk about this book without giving you some spoilers. So, spoiler alert. He does get to meet his daughter before he passes, though. But the first half of the book is so rough to read. The second half of the book deals with them dealing with their grief over losing him and raising her daughter. Patrick's family is a huge help through this, and Gage is a huge help to her too. At one point, he does leave for a while, but while he is there, he is a huge help to her, and her daughter Abby. And when he comes back, he's also a huge help. And okay, I'm just gonna. They have developed feelings for each other through this. There's no cheating or anything, but just they have developed feelings, and it's a happy ending, but it takes a long time to get there. Most of the book is rough. Even the second half, like it starts to get a more hopeful. What's the word I'm looking for? Bent. It gets more hopeful, but it is still a little bit rough. But but at the end they do find happiness, and I love that. I really do. That is my favorite part of the book. But probably about 3/4 of the book was really hard to read, just because it was dealing with that grief and that sadness and the passing. But yeah, like I said, Patrick's family is a huge help. Sawyer's, I think his adopted mom is a really good help. And so it's very well written. So in that case, or for that, I do recommend it. But if the death of a spouse from or death of anyone from cancer is something you don't want to read, don't read this book. And even if you do read it, be warned, it's rough.
Mommy.
Hi, baby. It's very well
Mommy.
written. I'm talking. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Are you drinking water?
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, in conclusion, very well written, but it's sad. It is really sad. It is heartbreaking for a lot of it. So, just so you know. But if you have read it, or if you do read it, let me know down below what you thought about it. I think that's all I've got for today. So, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Mommy.